The ability to automatically yeet grenades 1,200 meters away comes from the Soviet AGS-17, also known as Playma, Russian for flame. It's a 30mm automatic grenade launcher, which is often seen in the thick of the fighting in Ukraine. Despite being over 50 years old at this point, this weapon remains a force to be reckoned with and is still used extensively by over 25 different militaries around the world, including China. The weapon's roots are tied to the world's first ever automatic grenade launcher, and the weapon's creator has this tragic Soviet tale of innovation and political incarceration. In this video, we'll explore the history, development, and specifications of the AGS-17 before turning our attention to some of the new innovative tactics of mixing this weapon with new drone technology and using it as a kind of artillery fire. I think that's what they call synergy in the military. So sit back and prepare to discover the surprising and effective ways in which the AGS-17 is being utilized on the front line of Ukraine. History and development. First, let's take a look at this weapon's development. According to SOL, it's the online database and interactive guide on small arms and light weapons, development of the AGS-17 actually started in the Soviet Union during the 1930s. A Soviet designer named Yakov Tubin is credited by many as creating the world's first automatic grenade launcher, which would lead to the AGS-17. His life story is truly a Soviet-style tragedy. Tubin was actually born in the Belarusian city of Pinsk in 1900. At 29 years old in 1929, he entered the Odessa Institute of Grain and Flour Technologies, working in agriculture in a design and engineering department inside of Ukraine. One day, he's asked to go help fix this water supply system at the Odessa military school, which had broken down. While he was there, he witnessed the soldiers training on the Diakonov rifle mortar grenade, which was this 1916 technology that was single shot and painfully slow to reload. Then Yakov Tubin had a spark of an idea, the kind of epiphany engineers often have when they see something that they can improve upon. While watching the Diakonov mortar grenade, he imagined this new automatic machine gun style grenade launcher that would increase the rate of fire exponentially and be far more effective. This twist of fate would change the course of his life. In August 1931, Tubin submitted drawings and blueprint plans for the world's first automatic grenade launcher with the help of his friend and fellow student. They sent them to the Artillery Directorate of the Red Army, and then they waited. They waited for 2 long years, as the Soviet bureaucracy mechanism slowly churned. When they finally got their answer from the Red Army in 1933, they were notified that Tubin would be sent to the city of Kavrov, to the Tool Factory No. 2, where he and a group of weapons specialists would work on the prototype automatic grenade launcher. Then, in 1934, Yakov Tubin and his group were transferred to Moscow for a special project at the OKB-16, the People's Commissariat of the Heavy Industry, where he's credited as running this new venture. It's kind of similar to like DARPA in the United States, or a major defense contractor. He improved his automatic grenade launcher prototype until 1938, using a 40.8mm grenade ammo. His version was brought down from 73 kilograms to 38 kilograms, or 83 pounds during this time period. So it used a wheeled system instead of a tripod like today to make it easier for troops to move it around the battlefield. In 1939, Kulik was the new head of the OKB-16, and he personally disliked the automatic grenade launcher, despite some of its early successes in training and in the war in Finland in combat in 1940. And he canceled funds for its continued manufacturing. Then, on the night of May 16, 1941, Yakov Tubin was arrested as a participant in what they called at the time an anti-Soviet conspiracy. He was the victim of a fabricated, falsified trial by the military. Many Soviet designers and military leaders were imprisoned and killed by Stalin during this time period just like this. On October 28, 1941, Tubin, along with 19 other prominent Soviet military specialists, were executed by firing squad. Little progress on the automatic grenade launcher was made again until 1960s, because the program was further delayed by World War II. The OKB-16 Design Office, also known as the KBP Design Bureau, and today it's known as Tokmash. They initiated development and continued work on the grenade launcher in 1967 in Tula, Russia. This time it was under the leadership of a Soviet named Alexander Noodleman. It's likely that the further development of the project was actually influenced by the Sino-Soviet border conflict of the late 1960s. Here, the Soviets had an opportunity to use American-made automatic grenade launchers that they had acquired through Vietnam and they were impressed by the close and medium-range fire support against enemy manpower and light vehicles as a result. The Soviets wanted to develop their own version to use against any kind of human wave tactics that China might use against them. After testing was completed in 1969, the AGS-17 entered production, becoming mass-produced in 1971, and to this day it remains in active service. It's currently manufactured under license in Bulgaria, China, Cuba, and Iraq. The sources I could find say the AGS-17 is manufactured at two different companies, one being the Degertov plant, or ZID, from 1916, located in the Khabarov Oblast. They're a subsidiary of Rostec, and they have over 11,000 employees, doing annually about $450 million in revenue. The other is a little-known Russian arms company known as Molotov Machine Building Plant, founded in 1940, originally in Moscow, before moving to its current location in Kharkiv Oblast. Today, they're a subsidiary company of the massive conglomerate Rostec, but they've been in bankruptcy since 2012. The AGS-17, weighing at 31 kilograms or 68 pounds, was used extensively in the Soviet-Afghan War and was reportedly well liked by the troops. The system is a full 9 pounds lighter than the equivalent US Mark 19 automatic grenade launcher. The AGS-17's main tactical use is to create dead zones on the battlefield, which is essentially another way of saying you can deny the enemy large swaths of area. Automatic grenade launchers are useful for defensive positions against human wave-style assaulting attacks on you. Without them, a large enemy crowd could overwhelm a smaller defending force. With this weapon, it can scatter area fire across a wide region. It doesn't have to be fatal, it just needs to wound the enemy or prevent them from moving into a certain area, to take them out of the fight and prevent your position from being overrun. The weapon's success in Afghanistan reportedly influenced the further development of the AGS program, which would eventually lead to the development of the upgraded AGS-30. The AGS-17 has also demonstrated its effectiveness in many conflicts, including the Chechen Wars, Syrian Civil War, and more recently the war in Ukraine, which we'll get into deeper in just a minute. Specifications and upgrades. The AGS-17 is a blowback-operated weapon. This is the system of self-loading whereby the force created from a discharged round is harnessed to eject bullet casings and chamber the next round. Because a blowback-operated firearm typically lacks a mechanical lock between the breech and the barrel, it makes it simpler to design and cheaper to build. So as to reduce the rate of fire and recoil while firing, the bolt has a hydraulic recoil buffer. The AGS-17 also features a 29cm rifled barrel with cooling ribs, and its design allows it to be changed quickly if it overheats. Most of these systems are mounted onto foldable tripods that enable the operator to fire directly or indirectly, but there are also variants designed to be mounted on vehicles and helicopters. The AGS-17 has a respectable rate of fire at 400 rounds per minute, but a more realistic rate of 50 to 100 rounds per minute is expected. The AGS-17 can fire two types of 30mm grenades. Its 29-round belt, some sources say 30 rounds, those being the VOG-17M and the VOG-30 grenades. The VOG-17M is the standard high explosive round with a basic HE fragmentation warhead. The VOG-30, on the other hand, comes with an improved explosive filling and enhanced fragmentation. Both of these rounds can be fired to an effective range of about 1,700 meters, with a muzzle velocity of about 185 meters per second. The diameter of the area of hit by the shrapnel of one of these grenades tends to be about 7 to 9 meters, according to some sources. Others claim 14 meters. But that is unlikely due to the grenades being lighter weight and smaller than the US Mark 19 grenades, which have a larger kill radius of 15 meters. Whilst the Russian army still uses the launcher, it's being replaced by the AGS-30, which started production in the 1990s. It's lighter, experiences less recoil, has improved accuracy, and a greater range of 2,100 meters due to its improved GPD-30 grenade. However, the AGS-30 is not even Russia's newest launcher. The newest Russian automatic grenade launcher, which entered service in 2017, is the AGS-40. It has a range 25% further than the AGS-30 and ammunition twice as powerful as that of the AGS-30. It's set to fire larger 40mm grenades to a range of 2,500 meters. However, it's unlikely that we're going to see these in large numbers anytime soon, as Russia has still not overhauled all of the older AGS-17s, which are frequently seen in use by Russian forces in Ukraine. Tactics and usage in Ukraine. Both the AGS-30 and AGS-17 have been used by Russian and Ukrainian forces in the current conflict, with the AGS-17 seeming to be more common. particularly amongst Ukrainian forces. Despite its age, having been introduced in the 1970s, the AGS-17 is still an effective weapon. Beyond its Soviet pieces, Ukraine has also received some NATO pieces such as America's Mark 19. Conventionally, grenade launchers are used in direct fire mode. This tends to involve shooting at targets within the user's line of sight. But recently, the battlefield in Ukraine is witnessing a shift in the tactical applications of automatic grenade launchers. Some units are adopting a new approach that involves using a larger indirect firing angle, leveraging drone targeting to unleash a barrage of grenades onto enemy positions. Operators are seen firing the AGS directly into the sky in a high angle that could never deliver accurate fire in the past. Indirect fire with grenade launchers has typically meant firing blindly, meaning accuracy is low and shooting in this manner is not very effective. But by operating alongside small tactical reconnaissance UAVs, Ukrainian forces are able to overcome the low accuracy by using step-by-step adjustments. A Forbes article from December 2022 highlights this tactical change. The article includes a video of Ukrainian forces indirectly firing an AGS-17. They first fire an initial ranging burst at a Russian position, then a soldier operating a DJI Mavic quadcopter that is loitering above the Russian position observes where those rounds land and instruct the gunner to adjust his aim to hit the target. In a similar video from the current Russian offensive, Ukrainian forces again used drone-guided indirect fire to defend their position from approaching Russians. In this instance, using an American Mark 19 40mm grenade launcher. The gunner is examining the drone operator's screen for himself. The effectiveness of this tactic is soon realized as he adjusts his aim until the grenades are landing right on top of the Russian position. And the high-intensity, precise fire causes the Russians to fall back after suffering casualties. Ukrainian forces have also been using their launchers in hit-and-run attacks. A video from the Litvin battalion demonstrates this sort of maneuver. The operators arrive by SUV to a firing position and fire a few high-angled salvos before packing up and leaving to avoid Russian counter-battery fire. This makes them much harder targets to neutralize with artillery strikes. The lightweight AGS-30 would be ideal for this form of fire maneuver, although it's likely Ukraine only has a few of these systems. By using grenade launchers like an automatic mortar, these systems are now hitting targets that are out of view with deadly accuracy, even if they're behind cover. The incorporation of the drone also enables the operator crew to identify and locate targets they previously may not have been able to locate. The system of firing, observing, and then adjusting aim means that grenade launchers can hit positions with near pinpoint accuracy at range after just a few salvos. There are also indicators that grenade launchers are being used to hit targets at very close range, judging from the extremely steep gun elevation seen in some videos. The unconventional use of grenade launchers as makeshift mortars means Ukrainian forces are not only inflicting physical damage on their enemies, but are also creating a powerful psychological impact on the battlefield. Imagine being in a trench and hearing a barrage of explosions getting closer with each salvo. The terror would be overwhelming, especially as cover is no longer a significant obstacle. The Forbes article does show the Russian forces are starting to adopt this tactic as well, but claims that this is on a limited scale as Russia is suffering from a severe shortage of drones and trained operators as well as ammunition. The AGS-17 has stood the test of time as a powerful and reliable weapon system. I'm your average infantryman, Chris Cappy. I hope you enjoyed this video and check this one out if you have a chance. Thank you very much.